jacket feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Back again for this Thursday night. It's nice to be back and getting back to work again, covering these cases for you. I have some breaking information on Arnie the Shepard and the investigation into his owner and what he was doing the night he left the dog in the car. I have some more information about that. I have a little bit of an update about Isla Bell. We need to have a talk about what will happen going forward. And we have some very creepy information coming out about Anna Kepner. Now, I spoke to a source that I have in Florida for criminal investigations, and I got told some very interesting information about Anna and her death. And I will bring it to you. I will bring it to you. Hey, it's good to see you all. Hope you're all having a good time. Hey, good to see you guys. Look, all the pumpkin theming is still here. All right. We'll get started with the Isla Bell thing. So her two co-accused did front court this week in the Supreme Court, and it happened on the Tuesday. So it happened on the same day that we were talking about our other case, Lachlan Young. So the same day that Lachlan was being sentenced, they appeared in court for a post-committal directions hearing. Well, what is a post-committal directions hearing? It's basically just the next step after they were in the magistrate court and they were committed to stand trial. They went up a level to the Supreme Court. This was their first sort of session in the Supreme Court. Now, you might be like, Ping, this is like your pet case. How come you didn't do a show on it this week? We are now in that stage of court proceedings where I can attend these hearings. I can watch it all. I can write stuff down. I can't report it to you. I'm not allowed to report it to anything. I can't do anything with it. So we're in that sort of stage of court things in Australia where reporting basically gets locked out. There's some things I can tell you. I can tell you they appeared in court on Tuesday. That's it. That's about all I can tell you. And that'll be the way for a long period of time now. So what is sort of the progression on this point? So they will go through the pretrial process, which depending on case to case is how some of them are longer than others. Some take a few months, some take half a year, some take 9 to 12 months. This one with how many experts and evidence, things like that, that'll probably, like we heard in the magistrate's court, I'm guessing that this one's going to be quite long. So it could be for the next indeterminate amount of time. It could be 9 months, it could be a year, it could be half a year. It just depends. Now, at the moment, they have a registrar. So a registrar is overseeing the case in the Supreme Court. You get a registrar early on in your Supreme Court sort of timeline. And then after that, when we get closer to the actual trial, normally a couple of months before the trial, you have another block of hearings, and they will be done by the justice who is going to oversee the trial, the one that will actually do the trial. So we're not at that point yet. They currently have a justice with them right now, and that is the way it's going to stay. So that is E.L. Yaffe and Marat Ganiv, and I'm probably pronouncing their names completely wrong, but that's the way I can pronounce them. And we've talked about them before. They are the ones accused. Well, Mr. Ganiv is accused of killing Isla Bell. Mr. Yaffe, or Yaffe, is accused of assisting Mr. Ganiv by bringing that fridge and putting Isla's, well, he didn't put the body in there. the main perpetrator did. He just brought the fridge and helped a buddy out. Didn't know that there was going to be a body or anything. That's his claim. And then Isla's body went in the fridge. It got moved around southeast Melbourne. Eventually was discovered. Thought that the person who discovered it thought it was animal remains. They put their hand in it, picked up on whatever was inside, and put it in the bin. That ended up being Isla's body. It got put in a bin. It got taken to a tip or a dump, and was discovered by police. So that's the basis for this. So we've done it before. We've talked about Isla Bell, and we've talked about the two of these guys several times, but this is the first time they've ever been in the Supreme Court. They've been in the magistrate court for the last year, about a year. They've been in the magistrate court system. Now they've gone up a level and they are in the Supreme Court. So that is the update for that. Your update is there probably will be no more updates. I won't be able to tell you much between now and trial. I'll be able to tell you when we get a trial date, when that is confirmed and locked in, I will be able to tell you. And that's about it. That's between now and then. I can probably just tell you when we're going to trial. So that's just the way it works down here, and we just have to abide by the rules for reporting out of the Supreme Court. So I don't want to get in trouble, even though apparently people who do break these rules don't get in any trouble, apparently. But that's okay. Ping wants to be a good boy. I want to be a good boy, so I'm going to abide by the laws. This information came out just in the last hour or so. So we talked about Arnie. We talked about Arnie, right? Arnie, the German Shepherd, yesterday. He died after his owner left him in a vehicle. The owner's partner, so Nathan is the owner, his partner reported the car missing because Nathan said it got stolen from his friend's home. Well, they discovered that no, that's not what happened. Nathan left it on a street in Fortitude Valley and went off and did something. Until now, we were not sure. And yesterday, I was speculating that he went to a nightclub or went out. Some people in the chat said, oh, he went to a strip club. Apparently, sort of. There was some stripping involved, but there was more after that, apparently. According to this, Nathan went to a brothel. He was visiting a brothel. So he left the dog in the car, killed the dog, leaving it in this car for 10 days. Also, he could ditch out on his partner, not help the dog, so he could go to a brothel. Could you not have got some sex at home? Could your girlfriend not give you that? Is that not sort of the whole idea about having girlfriends and boyfriends? Why did you feel the need to do this and do that to the dog? I find that bizarre behavior. I find that very strange that he would do this. Yeah, this is what they're saying. Detectives are investigating claims that McCowan was visiting a well-known city brothel on the evening that Arnie was allegedly left inside the car. And that would make sense. The day that he left him was November 7. It was a Friday. And seems like he wanted to go have more fun in the city with other women, according to this. So I don't know what else I want to tell you. Apparently, this is the police removing Arnie's body from the vehicle, and it is so kind to see the police using treating Arnie as if he's like a human. And like they're blurring it out, and they've got people there putting him on a stretcher, and I find that beautiful that they treated him as if he is a real person. Gail said, how did nobody hear the dog during the 10 days? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know why he never just went. Well, I don't think he was only in the brothel overnight. I don't know why he didn't go back and get the dog. I feel like if he did, then he would have to explain to his partner why he needs to drive all the way into, or somehow get all the way into Fortitude Valley in the city to go get the vehicle. I feel like this has all been a cover up to keep it from his partner, and it's backfired spectacularly. It really has. It's really stupid. This guy killed the dog so he could go to a brothel. I've never heard of such a weak excuse idea to hurt an animal or a human ever before. So yeah, they're saying that he was at a inner Brisbane brothel on the night he allegedly left the dog inside the car. And they're saying here the manager of that brothel told the Daily Mail one of their workers saw Nathan on the Today Show during one of his public appeals for Arnie and recognized him as a customer from the night of November 7. Well done. Well done. I think this gives you an insight into who Nathan is. He's willing to step out on his partner, he's willing to abuse animals, and he's willing to lie about everything. I mean, is there any sort of characteristic of Nathan that is in the plus column here? Because I don't see one. I just don't see one at all. And he deserves everything he's got coming. I mean, his partner should be absolutely furious with him. Absolutely furious. Oh, apparently the CCTV is now being leaked. So apparently this is him. It's very blurry. This is him driving that vehicle that apparently was stolen and dropping it in Amelia Street in Fortitude Valley in Brisbane. And you just have to ask why. Why was this all necessary? You had a nice lady at home. You could have gone and had all the fun you wanted with her and gone home with the dog. Instead, you decided to leave your car in Fortitude Valley, visit a brothel, and then when you figured out you'd been out too late at night, you lied to her saying that you're at a friend's place and that the car was stolen from the front of your friend's place, all to keep her on your side. So she's like, I'm going to be a good partner. I'm going to call police and report the vehicle stolen so we can try to get the dog and the vehicle back. Well, by doing that one phone call, it unraveled everything. His entire story came crashing down, and now we know exactly what happened. It is one of the most awful stories I think I've ever read, and I say that a lot on this channel, but it's really gross that he would do this. It really is. So it's not his girlfriend; it's his wife. Sorry, his wife Louise. And look at this really nice looking lady. And instead, you decided you wanted to go to a brothel. I'm sure she feels her self esteem must be through the roof that you would rather go to a brothel instead of come home to her. She must she must have the the most fulfilled self esteem in the world right now. You've made her feel really great. Um, yeah, she's a good looking lady. He should have gone home to her and took the dog with him, not go out and dump the car with the dog in it so he could go visit what is could be a woman working in a place possibly against her will. Yeah, yeah, it's really sad. Kim said, very beautiful, and he's a creep. He is a creep. Now the entire nation and the world know all about Nathan. And I wonder if divorce proceedings might be in the future for Nathan. Because if I was Louise, you have a guy who went to a brothel, killed your pet dog, and lied to you about everything. What else has he done before that night on November 7 that you don't know about? That would be the question I would be asking if I was Louise. What has he done that you don't know about? Because I doubt this is a one-time thing. I doubt it. It sounds like repeated behavior. All right, I will. All right, I will. I'll give you, you know what? Nana Lana, I'll give you the thumbs up when I'm done, okay? Not the thumbs up that I was done just then. Kelly said that's definitely grounds for divorce. I think she should. I think she should. How can you ever trust him again? How can you ever trust him? One, he cheated on you possibly at this brothel, and two, he killed your dog, your family pet. How could you ever trust him with anything, yet alone small children or like anything? You couldn't trust him to go around to the corner shop and buy you milk because he might leave the milk in the car for it to go off for 10 days. He might. He might do it. Couldn't even trust him with a bottle of milk. Marjorie said, exactly, Ping. I hope Louise has the strength to remove herself. Sounds like a strong lady because she called the police. So I think she's able to take care of herself. Sally said, it'll be a week tomorrow. My grandcat. That's right. Bear passed away. Yes, I remember from last week. I'm sorry that happened, my friend. And I'm sorry we have to read a animal story, but it's an important story going on down here right now. Rachel said, I seriously doubt it was a one-time incident. That is my opinion too, that it is not a one-time incident. And he seemed far too comfortable leaving the dog in the car. Like, what was he going to do? I wonder if he was going to sneak back and get the car and the dog, and something happened where he couldn't get back to the animal. I reckon that's probably what's happened. I reckon normally he's been able to sneak back in the morning, get the vehicle, get the dog, and go back home. And then this time something came up where he was unable to get back to the vehicle. Marilander says, any children? I don't know. I have seen some photos of them with small children. I just don't know. It's probably, that information is probably available somewhere. I don't have it. But there are photos of him with small children. Let's go up here. Yeah, if I look up here, there are photos of him. Yeah, like here, like the photo we just saw that was cropped. There's a larger version of it where Louise is now blurred, and there's a child here too. So I'm guessing they do have children, and that, yeah, that he does have children. Marjorie said he's a disgusting excuse for a human. I agree with you. Hey, Moonlight View, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Anyone who hurts animals like this takes so little care of them. I hope he is banned for a lifetime from ever owning another animal. These type of people who, I mean, that should be the punishment. The punishment should be jail time for some period of time and blocked from ever owning an animal. And if he ever does try own an animal again, he should go straight back to jail, because the way that dog suffered in that car for multiple days without food and water is it's horrific. It really is. Yeah, I do too. Because you have to ask, if that is their child, if he can't look after the dog, how could you ever leave the child with him? If he'll do that to the family uh animal, what would he do to a child if he wanted to go to a brothel? What if he wanted to go to a brothel and he was babysitting while mum was off working, or with girlfriends for a rare night off? What would he do then if his mates are like, "Hey, we're going to go out in Fortitude Valley again. We know you got in trouble with the dog and you have the child this time, but everything will work out. Meet us in Fortitude Valley with the child and the car. I mean, you couldn't trust him. You couldn't trust him ever again. So I hope Louise is okay. I hope she's going to be okay. And I hope this was a big reveal, unfortunately, very publicly. But I hope this opens her eyes to who Nathan really is, and maybe some life choices that she'll have to revisit at some point. So that is your update for that. We now know a little bit more about what Nathan was up to that night. And yeah, it's a pretty crap, pretty horrible story. And here, I want to show you this from our friends at Channel 9. Just watch this. I think it has Nathan in it with him appealing for the dog. Hold on.
Tonight to a story that sparked nationwide attention and a massive search to find pet dog Arnie, whose owner claimed he was taken when the family ute was stolen.
That owner has now been charged over the German Shepherd's death amid allegations the theft never happened.
A heartbreaking find in Fortitude Valley. German Shepherd Arnie pulled from the back of a ute 10 days after he was allegedly left there by his owner.
We were talking about that at home the other day, that it'd be terrible that something would happen to our dog like that.
The car, once believed to have been stolen and dumped with the adored family pet inside.
Just distraught. I haven't been sleeping well over the last few nights.
Police now alleging that was never the case, accusing owner Nathan McEwen of abandoning his dog in the tray of his ute on a night out. The next day, he put out a desperate plea, insisting his car was stolen, offering up more than $5,000 for Arnie's safe return.
It's been put on all the social media pages. Everyone's been sharing it. It's had thousands and thousands of shares. So hopefully we find them soon.
This is where Nathan McEwen told police and...
It just shocks me that he really thought he'd get away with it, like he's never heard of CCTV cameras. Yeah, that's him. That is him. He has an Irish accent is what I think. I think it's an Irish accent. I don't know how long he's lived in Australia, but he definitely has a Irish accent. At least I think it is. And yeah, like they have footage of him. Like how dumb! Look at it. It's like caught in 4K. This guy was. Where is it? Look at this. Look how clear that footage is. They probably even have him getting out of the car. They have him like rolling down the street on a Friday night in Fortitude Valley, dumping the animal. And then, yeah, there's definitely a lot of photos with small children and the dog. So, Louise, there's Louise right there. We wish you all the best. Everyone from Nights with Ping, everyone here in the chat wishes you the best. And hopefully you will eventually have a beautiful another dog again. And I don't mean Nathan. I don't mean a man dog. I mean an actual dog. And I hope he goes away. Let him go do whatever he wants to do. And you go off and live your life. Because, yeah, he is a scumbag of the highest order. There is nothing else to describe Nathan. And, you know, look at him in this video trying to appeal to the public. And he's like, it's been on thousands. It's been on thousands of social media. Okay, you knew all along where the dog was. How much of a prat do you look like right now? Anyway, before Ping gets too mad, we should probably move on from this. Because, oh, here he is. Hold on, I want to hear him speak. Let's go here.
Have our fingers crossed for you. Do let us know how you go.
We just want Arnie.
taking his appeal nationwide.
We don't care about you. We just want Arnie returned.
We're going to have our fingers crossed for you. Do let us know how you go.
The search for Arnie, the stolen German Shepherd, quickly went viral.
The money and resources that have gone into this to locate Arnie and that vehicle is insane. We had pretty much the whole team out until 2, 3 in the morning some nights over a span of about 6 days.
The shock of Arnie being found dead on Monday only just settling in when McEwen was charged over his death. Investigators say partner Louise had no idea the car was never stolen.
She was crying. She was being comforted by the policeman. Yeah, she was quite upset.
The McEwen's home seemingly deserted today, though there's traces of a man's best friend at the doorway. Nathan is expected to face court next month, charged with breaching his duty of care.
There you go. And a final look at Arnie. What a beautiful shepherd he is. Yeah, he is a creep. He is a creep. Marry the dog, Louise. Find another dog that is that beautiful. I think the dog would be a better companion than Nathan. He is a snake in the grass, 100%. She must be absolutely furious with him, highly embarrassed now that these details are coming out too about him being at a brothel, and that's the reason the dog was left there, is so that he could go to a brothel and get it on with some lady for money. I mean, she must be absolutely furious, but also very, very embarrassed, I would think too, which is not her fault. She shouldn't feel embarrassed because it's not an indictment on her, but I could imagine that, she might feel that way, even though she shouldn't. It's not got nothing to do with her. It's Nathan. Gail said he was paying. Yeah. Can someone translate what she just said? What I said? Am I a lady now? I mean, I could translate what I said. I don't know who.
Nathan and Louise.
I don't know who you want me to translate it about, but I find it very touching that they brought out the thing and put his body on it, like he was like a human that they find when they do crime scene, and they put it into the van. I find that touching. Oh, the newsreader? I don't know. Who is it? I don't know. It doesn't tell me. There's no like little pop-up thing. Oh, wait, there might be. Hatea Gripsby? What is her name? Hold on, what is her name?
Them soon.
This is where Nathan McEwen told police and the public thieves stole his car, and Arnie along.
Okay, I can't pronounce her name. Oh, the statement lady? Yeah, I don't know either.
Days.
Traces of Norway, charged with his duty of care. Hatea Gripsky, 9 News.
Hatea Gripsky is her name. I know. What a very unique name. Very unique. The statement lady. Okay. I'm not sure what you want me to translate. She just said that he will face court later next month, and there was no one at the home. That's what they were saying. There was no one at the home at the time, and that the only thing left at the home was a doormat with indications that a pet dog lived at the place. Hey, Jonna, how are you? Jonna said, what can his sentence possibly be? All right, let's go through that. Let me go get the charge that he has, and I'll look up what the statute is here in Queensland. What has he actually been charged with? Actually, the manager of the brothel says he came in around 11 p.m. and left at 1 a.m. He came in and booked a lady and stayed with that lady. They say we found it difficult to remove him. All he could talk about was that he had lost his car, but there was no talk of a dog being inside of it. Weird. What a weirdo. All right, let me see if I can find what his actual charge was. Oh, Okay. He's one count of breach of duty of animal by failing to provide under the Animal Protection Act. Let me see. So that is under the Animal Care and Protection Act 2001 in Queensland. So an individual may face a significant fine of up to $50,000 or a term of imprisonment, typically up to 1 year in jail, depending on the severity of the case. And they're saying if the breach results in the animal's death, the penalties can increase substantially. The fines can go up to $333,000 in money, and then the imprisonment can jump to 3 years in jail. Courts can impose further orders such as banning an individual from owning, purchasing, or working with animals for a set period of time or for life. So he could face a substantial fine. He could face up to 3 years in jail, and he could also be banned for life from owning an animal ever again, which I think they hopefully will do, considering the poor treatment they showed Arnie. So poor Arnie seemed like such a beautiful dog. Kathy said, "Do you know how spoiled my dogs are? They live better than a lot of people." I think a lot of people who love their animals treat them that way. All right, that is your update on that one. And I'm going to go. Interesting. Someone just messaged me saying that Melody Buzzard's mother, Ashley, had her charges dropped today in that false imprisonment charge, and that her ankle monitor has been taken off her now. I hope they find the kid. I just care if they find Melody. That's all I care about. All right, let's talk about Anna Kepner. Now, we were talking yesterday about Anna, and Ping was saying things like, "Oh, I reckon there's been a SA element to it and things like that." And then someone in the chat said, "Oh, I heard that she was partially unclothed." Oh, by the way, there you go, Natalana. Well, today, the word I'm hearing is not partially unclothed. The word I'm hearing is completely naked. Completely naked. No clothes. And I got this information from a Florida source that I know that does law enforcement. And I trust the person I spoke to. They're saying completely naked she was found. That's the information they gave me. They said that, I want to word this very carefully because I don't think it's been fully proven yet. They also told me that R word and SA were a huge focus point of the investigation. So take that for what you want, but Ping wouldn't tell you unless I thought it was legitimate. And I try to bring you facts from people I know, sources and courtrooms and things like that. So if I didn't think it was real, I wouldn't tell you. But that's the information that I've been told. And there's some creepy information coming out about this brother. And I think it's in this video here. So this is WKMG Orlando. And I want to play it for you.
Anna Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother, quote, is a suspect in her death on a Carnival cruise ship. That information is not coming from law enforcement. It's coming from the 16-year-old's parents. Those parents were just in court.
If the court isn't aware that apparently this has been made national news.
This online court hearing involving a child custody case took place just hours before a memorial service honoring Anna Kepner, who was found dead on a Carnival cruise ship. The teen was joined on that cruise by her father, her stepmother, and at least two of her stepmother's children from another marriage, a nearly 9-year-old daughter and 16-year-old son. Those two children were the subject of this court hearing.
Can I speak?
This is Chantel Kepner, the children's mother and Anna Kepner's stepmother. She's in a child custody dispute with her ex-husband, Thomas Hudson, seated on the right. The former couple says their 16-year-old son, quote, is a suspect in his stepsister's death.
Well, Your Honor, it's our understanding that because the cruise was in international waters, that the young child, not the 9-year-old, but the 16-year-old was allowed to drink. The teenagers were given their own room in which to stay.
Now, I find this very strange. There's been some information come out from an ex-boyfriend of Anna's, and the ex-boyfriend says that he caught that brother, that stepbrother of Anna's, one night when they were sort of on FaceTime, falling asleep. You know what teenagers do when they do that type of thing. He caught that brother trying to mount Anna and perform a sexual act, and he scared him off. That ex-boyfriend also called the family and told them about it, and told them what that stepbrother was doing. They didn't want to hear about it, apparently. Now, I find that strange. They were told that months ago that this teenager had an infatuation with Anna and had been trying to date his stepsister for a period of time. Why then would you go on a cruise and allow them to share a room? If you know of these problems between this stepkid and Anna, why would you let them share a room with no parental supervision? It seems like a recipe for trouble. And that is something that needs to be explained. And if it can't be, those parents that were on that trip, whether they're step parents, other people, other adults, whoever made the decisions, they need to be charged with a crime too, because it's their responsibility. Anna was barely an adult, barely, and it's up to them to make decisions that are in the best interest for all the children, whether they're Anna, whether they're the boys, whatever. Yeah, she must have been very frightened. Yep. And the fact that she knew that this stepbrother was sexually harassing her for a period of time, and that he was infatuated with her. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, and then they're like, "Hey, come on a cruise and share a room together." It's doesn't make sense. All right, I'll play the video and then I'll come back.
Just a lot of circumstances that show that the mother in this case was not exercising appropriate supervision over this child or the other child involved.
Chantel Kepner's attorney disputes that.
There are videotapes on the ship that confirm that there was absolutely no drinking, and that
Sorry, guys, our computer froze halfway through the video. So I was like sitting here going, I don't think they can see me. I don't think they can hear me. And I was trying to get it back online. So let's see if it'll play it now.
there's and DCF investigated and saw that there was no alcohol in mom's house whatsoever. So I'm not sure where that's coming from.
There was no resolution to the child custody dispute, which will be handled at a future court hearing. We did learn that 16-year-old stepbrother was taken to the hospital after the cruise for undisclosed reasons. He is now living with a relative on his mom's side of the family as the FBI investigation continues. Mike DeForest, News 6.
They also had a memorial for Anna today. I'm going to see if I can find it. But they had this beautiful memorial for her today. I think WESH has it. If I can. Is this it? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to take you to WESH. They have a bit about the gathering today. So they gathered at a church in Titusville on Thursday to remember Anna. And they're saying friends and family wore blue in honor of her as they entered Grove Church. And they're saying here that a lot of friends and family shared a lot of happy memories of her, but there seemed to be a lot of anger and frustration at the investigation into her death. The fact that no one's been arrested in connection with her death and that no one's been officially named a suspect. And they're saying here this is Jim 2 said, I will tell you this, the truth needs to come out. There was science before this. I agree. And that is Anna's ex-boyfriend's dad. And the boyfriend's name is Josh. And he said those feelings are based on what he had heard from his so the dad had heard it from it's his nephew, not dad. God, there's too many family members. But it's Anna's ex-boyfriend is Josh, same last name too. And he says that she was my first love. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'd even walk her to work to see her, for 5-10 minutes at a time. He says here that the two broke up some time ago. He spoke about the relationship between Anna and her stepbrother. He says she complained about him being uncomfortable or her being uncomfortable around him. And he's saying that he's just hoping that this all plays out and that there's an arrest made over her death. So I think he talks in this video too. Oh, computer's being fun tonight.
That was my first love. She was the best that ever happened to me.
The truth needs to come out. There were signs before this.
New at 11, for the very first time, we are hearing from the boyfriend of an 18-year-old girl from Titusville who was found dead on a cruise ship. We talked to him during a celebration of life for Anna Kepner, where hundreds of people showed up to remember the young woman tonight. I'm Summer Knowles.
And I'm Stuart Moore. Of course, tonight, this comes as court filings identify Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother as a suspect. West Haley Crumble home is outside of her celebration of life tonight as Anna's family pleads for answers.
The parking lot here at the church, it's empty now, but hours ago it was absolutely packed with cars. Anna was a student at Temple Christian School here in Titusville. You could see plenty of her friends heading inside, some of them speaking with us after the celebration of life, talking about how heartbreaking it is to lose somebody this young and sharing some of their frustrations that nobody's been arrested.
This shouldn't be happening. She was only 18.
After the tragic loss of 18-year-old Anna Kepner, found dead earlier this month on a Carnival cruise ship, family and friends filed into the Grove Church to remember her, many wearing blue in her honor.
It was just filled with love. I mean, you can tell everybody really cared, and of course, people miss her.
People remembered Anna as someone that loved to make people laugh and had a great sense of style.
And she definitely knew how to throw on her outfit. She was great.
But among the happy memories shared of Anna Thursday, there seemed to be some anger and frustration. No one has been arrested in connection with her death. And though the FBI has not officially named any suspects, court documents from Anna's stepmother's divorce case allege Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother is a suspect.
The truth needs to come out. There were signs before this.
This man said those feelings are based on what he's heard from his nephew, Anna's ex-boyfriend, Josh, too.
That was my first love. She was the best that ever happened to me. And I'd even walk to her work to see her, for like 5-10 minutes.
Tu said he was meant to go on the cruise with Anna and her family until the two broke up some months ago. He spoke about the relationship between Anna and her stepbrother.
She complained about him being uncomfortable, or her being uncomfortable around him.
Tu said he's shared information with authorities. With no charges filed and no arrests made, he and his family are hoping they'll see justice for Anna.
I'm praying and hoping that this will come out so that they will have a solid case and justice will be done for why she's not with us today.
Again, no one has been arrested, and the FBI has not come out and named the stepbrother as a suspect. Covering Brevard County and Titusville, Haley Krummelholm, WESH 2 News.
So how did we get here? Anna was on board the Carnival Horizon. Investigators say her body was found on November 7th. The Miami-Dade medical examiner put her time of death.
I really think this comes down to there's been a huge surge in stepsister type corn over the last 10 years or so. And I think part of it's not the full story, but part of it is fueling this type of thing where young boys are thinking that stepsisters and stepmothers might be open game for sexual contact. And I really think it needs to be looked into and studied a bit more, because if this is proven to be true in this case where he has killed her in the process of a sex crime, then I think we're starting to see the sort of fruits of that particular subcategory of corn. So it's really, really gross, and I don't understand why it's such a big thing. I think it's promoting crimes and ancestral type values in blended families and things like that. It's a really strange thing that sort of market has clamped onto as a subcategory of content. Sorry, I have to be very careful with how I speak. Kathy said corn is so rampant now because of the internet. That is true. That is true. There's a lot of corn farmers out there right now. A lot of them, they all seem to have video cameras. But yeah, if that ends up being true, what my friend is telling me out of Florida, that poor girl had a horrific final moments of her life. Yeah, to kill her, wrap her up, shove her under a bed, all while she has no clothing on is, I think, indicative of what happened to her. You look at, what they tell you in the CIA, it's like a crime scene is like a painting, and it's the artist, aka the murderer, who is making the painting. And to understand what's going on, they're connected. So you look at the artist and what could be the symptoms here, and that type of thing. So Rachel said, I hope justice is served and the other children get some help. They definitely need to be supervised. There definitely needs to be more high level supervision and make sure that there's no other type of stuff going on. Marlene Clausen said, remember the movie Clueless? She had a crush on her stepbrother. I thought it was creepy back then in the 90s. I don't know if I've ever watched it. I don't know if I've ever watched Clueless. But yeah, you could be right. All right. I think that's about the only update I have. I can tell you that there was a little bit more information. Remember last night I told you about a girl who flew from the UK to America to be killed? Well, there was a bit more information that came out today, and I thought I'd bring it to you. There's also an update in another story that I want to get to. I just want to see if we can maybe get, yeah, here. So our friends at the Daily Mail found some more information about this young girl, Sonia Exelby, and she is the girl who flew from the UK, met this guy on a website, and asked him to kill her. And she was killed, unfortunately. But before she was killed, she was tortured for a period of time. Here's Dwayne Hall, the guy who has been charged with her murder and kidnapping. And we were looking at some of his Yelp reviews last night, where a woman picked up that she felt very uncomfortable in his presence. And there's a photo, if I go all the way down here, apparently this is a photo of Sonia and Dwayne kissing. Okay, and he has a wife, and if we scroll down here, I'll show you. There's a photo of him and his wife. Here you go. This is him and his wife, and somehow, you know, we heard in the recordings last night, he said, "Whoa, I didn't want to have sex with that girl because I didn't want to be unfaithful to my wife, but you know, I did do it like 4 or 5 times." Seems like a very strong-willed individual. The fact that, you know, he thought about his wife and then did it anyway. But there's a photo of him and his wife. It's this one that I wanted to show you. These were her messages. She talks about, this is what her father made, I think. They're saying, "We believe she has arranged to meet someone, got herself into an extremely vulnerable situation." So it sounds like they sort of knew what she had planned to do when she went to America, or what she had asked someone to do to her. There was another one with the messages that she wrote that I wanted to find. But apparently they ended up identifying her via fingerprint. That's the only way they were able to identify her. And they're saying that her DNA was found on a knife and a shovel that was in possession of Dwayne. Or they could prove it had been in the possession of Dwayne. Let me try and find this other bit here about Sonia. I want to talk more about it. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. A tragic story about a girl who seemed to be struggling with her mental health and ran into an absolute psycho. Ran into an absolute psychotic guy, for real. Like, this guy, if someone came out and told me he has previous offending that they figure out, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I would be like, okay, yep, sure, I believe that. Let me see if I can find. Yeah.
And a woman flies to Florida to be murdered on purpose? It's the wild investigation that has detectives asking a whole lot of questions.
And Marion County investigators call it the most bizarre murder case they've ever seen. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. It was a murder for hire plot, but here's the twist. She allegedly hired the hit on herself. And investigators say the woman flew halfway around the world to Central Florida to be tortured and killed. And this man allegedly took her up on the offer. Fox 35 was the only TV news crew in court this morning when Dwayne Hall went before a judge. Investigators say Hall murdered her and then dumped her body in the woods. Fox 35's Marie Ettinger is live on that story tonight. So, Marie, detectives say the woman from the UK paid the suspect. This is such a bizarre case.
It really is. Hall told investigators he was supposed to get $4,000 for this crime, but that he'd actually only gotten $1,200 in the end. He told investigators he was upset about that. The FDLE says a woman in the United Kingdom posted on a fetish website looking for someone to abuse and kill her. Dwayne Hall? And that this man took her up on the offer. Dwayne Hall is now facing charges for homicide and kidnapping in a case a former detective called bizarre and unthinkable. What were your thoughts when I called you about this case?
You know, my first thought was, wow, I literally have been in this business 30 plus years. I have never heard anything close to what.
Yeah, let me bring you some more details. So apparently the pair of them were staying in an Airbnb, and that he is accused of SAing her and torturing her at that Airbnb. Police say they have now revealed that they have footage of her, very graphic footage apparently, of her detailing how she wanted to die. In the video, she can be seen sitting on a chair looking disheveled and with multiple bruises across her fake face, neck, and breasts after being tortured by Hall, who told police he used the name Alpha Sadist on these websites where they met. Okay, I reckon we could track him down. So he's not hard to track down. There is quite a lot of digital trail. Yeah, what is this? Yeah, I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him. There was a video here. I was like, under his name. I'm just trying to see if we can track down anything from him. There is a little bit of like social profiles about him. And I'm trying to find out what the hell this is. Okay. So he did have a social media profile. And I can show you it here. Pretty sure this is him. That looks like him. I want to make sure that is him. Hold on. I think that is. Maybe it's not. Does that look like him? It's the same sort of it's the same styling of name. So I I think so, but if it is some it looks younger though. This is him here. I don't know. The other guy looks younger. His beard is not. His beard is dark, and his face is not as like sort of old. Dwayne looks older. He's got a much heavier beard, and it's grayer. So different guy maybe, but apparently he's on these. Use my VPN. I'll use your VPN. Kathy said he didn't mind admitting he was a sadist. I know, right? But I will do some tracking of what I can find of him in my off time, and I'll see what I can dig up, and we'll see if we can find anything that he's been talking about with Sonia online. Maybe they talked on forums or one of these websites. I'll see if I can dig up anything. Hey Jen, how are you? Good to see you. Jen says, been a while since I visited. Hope you've been doing well, Jen. Hope you've been doing well. What have you been up to? Tell us in the chat. We've all been sitting here waiting for 5 months, wondering what you've been up to. All right, that's not true, but tell us what you've been up to. Rachel said, looks like him, but a bit younger, same facial features. Yeah, if it's not him, he has a doppelganger that is a bit younger. But I don't want to sort of... Yeah, maybe he's using like AI generated photos to look younger than he is to attract people. I mean, it happens a lot in sort of online sort of things. So yeah, very sad story. I heard her body is going to be repatriated back home, and she will head back to the UK at some point. I'm not sure if it's been done yet, but I suspect she'll go home and her parents and family will bury her. So very, very awful. I don't know what is going to happen to this guy. I'm going to scroll down to his thing. I just want to see if it is this guy. I don't know. I don't think it is. This guy seems to be a I don't know. This guy seems to be a gay man. And I don't think the guy that we're looking at is a gay man. Yeah, this guy looks like definitely a gay fellow, and I don't think the one we're looking at is. So I think it's just a different guy with a very similar picture. It's close though. It is. I agree. No, I don't think it's him. I don't think it's him. The guy on this particular website expresses very gay forward type things, and I don't want to put anyone into a box or whatever. It's just not sort of the thing we get from Dwayne. Dwayne's more like what they call female dom, and that's the type of thing that he seems to be into. So I don't think so. Could be wrong, but I don't believe so. Let's see here. So one of the things is this girl had tried to fly out to the USA once before, but someone alerted her family to what she was going to go do, and they stopped her, and then they put her in a mental health facility for a period of time, and they all thought she was better. She got out of the facility. It was about 9 months, a year, and she went backwards again, and decided to keep it more secret this time about what she wanted to do. And this time she got away with it. So I don't know how that happened or how she convinced her family, because her family knew she was going to America. They knew that she had a return date on her ticket. I just don't know if they knew of this desire to go to America and be killed by someone, why they would let her go. I mean, I know she's an adult, but if she's already expressed this sort of idea of going there and getting someone to do that to her, I don't think that idea disappears very quickly. All right, I'm going to try see if we can find anything else about her. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be back. 1 minute. All right, there we go. Yeah, so that's your update. Just those few small details that popped up today in that article about her. I find it very sad. Found in a shallow grave in remote woodlands, and I hope that the videos that Dwayne filmed never come out. I think they would be distressing to everyone. The fact that we've heard the description of some of it, I feel like that would be very traumatizing to watch, even for people in true crime like us. I don't think it's something that anyone needs to see. Let me see if I got any other updates on things we've been following. Okay. All right. This is very interesting, and I want to show you this. Give me 1 sec. So a guy called Kevin J. Leno, he's been charged with the deaths of 2 unhoused people. They call it unhoused, but they mean homeless people. He was charged with them, but apparently he's been charged with more of them. I was going to show you a bit more, but I'm struggling to find content for you. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that doesn't work. So it's Boston News. He's accused of killing two men, a man in 2012, one called Norman and another one called Jack. And one was in Boston, one was in Montana. And they're saying that he's basically a serial killer. He's a serial killer. He's been charged to 4 murders so far, I'm pretty sure. All right, here we go. I'll take you here. Here's a photo of him. And they say authorities say they've arrested a serial killer in Massachusetts who preyed on the vulnerable. Here's a photo of him right here, Kevin Lino or Lino. And he's currently serving a prison sentence after being convicted of killing 2 men in 2012 and 2014. In August, he was charged in connection with 2 more homicides in 2010 and 2012. So he's a full-blown serial killer, like not a pretend one. He is a real one. And what are they saying here? So the people he preyed on are vulnerable people who were homeless. How very sad that he would prey on homeless people. And they're saying the Department of Justice defines a serial killer as someone who has taken the life of 2 individuals in separate situations. In this case, we already have convictions in 2, and now we've brought charges in 2 more. So he has 4 known victims. And they're saying so he apparently in the new accusations, Lino was 23 when he beat a man named Gary. He was 54, beat him to death with a baseball bat at a homeless encampment in Lowell in 2010, where they were both living. And they're saying here he attacked another person called Douglas Leon Clark, who was 30 in Cambridge, and killed him too. This is a photo of him. So this is the other victim up here. This is the man Gary that he killed, and this is the other man here, Douglas, that he killed as well. And apparently okay, so they thought he originally died of an overdose, but now they're saying that Lino gave him a hot shot and killed him with a mixture of drugs. So this guy has a range of offending. Normally we have serial killers who sort of kill in the same way or murder in the same way. This guy beat a guy, overdosed a guy, strangled another. He has a range of offending types. He's really dangerous, and the fact that he would prey on homeless people makes it all the worse. It really does. Here's a photo of him. You feel like he would light up like a Christmas tree, but there he is. This is a serial killer. So we have a new one that we should all know about. Apparently, this guy. I don't know what his name will be. Maybe the homeless killer. Maybe the homeless killer is a good name for him. But yeah, Kevin Lino, now accused of 2 more murders. They all date back a number of years. He's been in jail for quite a while too. So it's not like he's been out roaming around getting more victims, thank God. But he has been charged now with 2 more. So let me go over here. So the police say here, yeah, that he was charged with Gary's murder and then Douglas's murder as well. They initially believed Douglas died of an overdose, but now they're saying that Kevin Lino gave it to him on purpose to kill him. Yeah. So these were the 2 poor victims right here, Douglas and Gary, side by side. And I don't have photos of the 2 original victims, unfortunately, but yeah, apparently there's a press conference we can watch. Okay. if it'll load. Okay, here it is. So we can learn a little bit more about these two.
Sergeant Tony DeLucia, who's assigned to our office, State Police Trooper Mark Delaney, also assigned to our office, and Cambridge Deputy Superintendent John.
All right. I'd love to show you that video, but it is so quiet. It's even quiet for me, and I can barely hear it. So I don't think you guys will be able to hear it. I'll play it for a minute, but if people in the chat start saying they can't hear it, I will have to pause it. So it's a shame because I think we'd like to learn more about this new serial killer.
This morning, an individual named Kevin J. Leno, 38 years old, was indicted for two separate acts of first-degree murder. One involves the killing of the photograph which you see here on the right of those two.
Yeah, I can't hear it. Even me, I can't hear it. Why do they do this?
Gary Melanson. Mr. Melanson, Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, determined the victim's blood revealed the presence of a substantial concentration of police and fire personnel. It attracts attention to the.
All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this video overnight and I'm going to run it through our video software that we have, and I'm going to boost the volume and boost it up by like 300% and see if we can get it to sound better for tomorrow. Yeah, it's real quiet. You guys, yeah. I have my audio booster on. Let me have a look. I want to know if I have my audio booster on. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, my audio boost is on. So my audio already gets boosted like 200%. So I can't imagine what it sounds like for people who don't have it on. Why do they do this? They're like, we're going to hold a press conference, but we're not going to turn the volume up. We're going to have it the quietest press conference on earth. Yeah, it's very low. It's very strange. Like my microphone gets turned down all the time when I don't do it. Like normally it's pretty loud. And like then I just looked at it. It was only on like 3 lights or whatever. Normally we like to have it on like near the top. So I don't know. Audio issues. Yeah. Let's make sure nobody can hear the information ever. Hopefully my audio sounds a bit better now too. Kathy said I had to turn my headset up all the way. I will fix it overnight. I'll run it through a audio software and boost the volume so we can all listen and comment on it. I think it would be a interesting one to listen to. I mean, it's not often that we hear of new serial killers. We just don't. They're not as often, and we don't hear about them as not as common as we like to think they are. So if we hear of a new serial killer, I think it's always something we should have a look at. And this guy is just brutal though. Don't know why he seemed to want to hurt homeless people, but hey, get off my screen. They're saying, so 2 of the murders were in Massachusetts, both homeless men in 2012 and 2014. He was already serving time for 2 murders across 2 other states in America. So this guy is killed across multiple areas in the USA. Let's see. Yeah, see, they say here, noting that most of the victims died in vastly different ways, which is uncharacteristic of a serial killer. I agree. That is very strange. I think the BIA will be very interested in this guy. The fact that he changes his methodology with every time he kills someone. it's really rare that serial killers do that. They normally like to kill in a very similar fashion. So, yeah, the mushrooms are for Aaron Patterson, of course. Gail said thinks nobody will miss him. I think it was maybe more he was homeless too, and he was attacking the people surrounding him. At least I think so. What? What? Do you guys see this in the corner here? It says Jeffrey Epstein had a tiny penis shaped like a lemon. I'm sure we all needed to know that. That is a mental image that I don't need in my head. Why or how that needs to be reported, I don't know. But are they going to start calling him Lemonhead? Is that what they're going to start calling him? Will that be his nickname? Code word Lemonhead. Is that what they're going to start calling Jeffrey Epstein? Maybe. I find that strange. Code word Lemonhead. So now people are going to start sending like those Lemonhead candies to various people in the case. Let me see. All right. So yeah, it doesn't seem like we can get much more on that one. I'll fix I'll fix the press conference and I'll bring it back for you tomorrow. What else do we have? What else do we have to look up? Okay. Two found dead after welfare check in Crestline. Son charged with murder. A son. So this is in Michigan. And they're saying this guy is being held after killing his parents. He looks old enough to like have a job, a girlfriend, and a home. What is he doing killing his parents? Let's watch the video.
Developing tonight, a murder investigation is underway in Crestline. That's about 10 miles outside of Mansfield.
Police found a married couple dead this morning, and their son is now charged with murder. The sheriff tells us that he's locked up tonight after trying to escape the country.
Neighbors tell me they cannot believe the couple died and say they hope they wake up and this is all a bad dream. They describe the couple as being very sweet and say they just saw them doing yard work the other day. As police tapes surround this home in Crestline, investigators gathered evidence both inside the home and the garage. The police chief says a call for a welfare check sparked their investigation just after 10 Wednesday morning. Investigators tell me they found 61-year-old Lisa Anatra dead inside the home and 63-year-old Matthew Lindsay Anatra dead inside the detached garage. Their son, Maxwell Anatra, is accused of killing them. This is his mugshot from the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office in Michigan. The Crawford County Sheriff says investigators received information Anatra was in Michigan the morning police found his parents dead. Detectives also heard he was trying to leave the country. At about 5:30 Wednesday evening, Homeland Security told detectives Canadian officials arrested Anatra after he crossed the border into Canada. The sheriff says the 24-year-old's being held in Michigan until he can be brought back to Crawford County. On your side in Crestline, I'm Isabel Hinson, ABC 6 News.
Developing tonight, a murder investigation is underway in Crestline. That's about 10 miles outside of Mansfield.
Police found a married couple dead this morning, and their son is now charged with murder. The sheriff tells us that he's locked up tonight after trying to escape the country.
Neighbors tell me they
Very strange. Let's go back here. So they're saying he's in custody after the body of his parents were found in the 700 block of North Henry Street just after 10 a.m. on Wednesday. They're saying here a co-worker of one of the victims called 911 after she did not show up for work. So the mom, the co-worker told police they thought they saw blood at the home. So it is 61-year-old Lisa and 63-year-old Matthew, so mum and dad of the accused. And they're saying here the son, Maxwell, was seen at the home the night before, and family members were unable to contact him on Wednesday. And they're saying here detectives received information that Anatra was in Michigan the morning his parents were found dead and was possibly trying to leave the country. Okay. And they're saying, but instead, he's been booked into St. Clair County Sheriff's Office jail in Michigan and will be held there until he can be transported back to Crawford County. They're saying the 24-year-old is being charged with murder over his parents' death. Why? I think we've got to be like, why? Why do you want to kill your parents? I mean, look at all they've done for you, and you're just like, let me kill my parents. What a horrible, horrible man. Maxwell L. Anatra. Let's see if we can find anything on this guy. Here's a mugshot. So I have a mugshot of him. There's a Facebook. He is very like look at the snarly face that he's putting on for the camera. I don't think he's going to win one of those like hot guy mugshot things where after they get out of jail they become models for French runways or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen. He's a bit too snarly on the photo. It is very intense, yeah. For money? You think he killed them for cash? Could be. Hey, Susie, how are you, my friend? Yes, I agree. The parents need to be charged. The cruise ship parents. I agree with you, my friend. While we're having a 2-second break, I want to thank Sean again, and I want to thank Kathy. Kathy, thank you for supporting the channel. The people who support this channel end up in our ending video at the end of the show, and they get to be in the credits for the show every week. So I appreciate those people. And I hope Bonnie Lee is able to sleep now. Bonnie Lee told me that she could not sleep because the ending video was too loud. So we've made it quieter for Bonnie Lee. So I hope she's able to sleep now. Anatra is Italian for duck. He does look like he is a bit of a duck. His mouth area could be a duck beak or a duck bill. He could be very duck-like. If you told me he has a condition that makes his face look like a duck bill, I'd believe you. He is a little ducky. Rachel said, I might guess his money, but we will see. We will have to see. There is no sort of insight into why he would want to do it. I can't find anything that would say whether they were having problems or yeah, there's nothing here in the report that says anything about why, if he was having any trouble with his parents, whether they had cut him off financially or anything like that. But they're saying here that the dad's body was found in the detached garage area of the property. So that's interesting. But what else? So apparently he was apprehended by Canadian officials trying to get across the border into Canada. So he did try to flee the country. I don't have anything else on him, but if we hear anything else, I'll let you know. Kathy wants me to tell you about this, so hold on. Hold on. We've got far too many windows open. Let me close a few windows so we're not got 200 tabs open. That's a bit better. All right, what is this one, Kathy? What is this person? Stacy Bowles, okay, brought fentanyl into a hospital while visiting her husband with her teenage daughter in 2022, and then all three overdosed. They're saying a mother could spend more than a decade in prison after her daughter overdosed on fentanyl and became permanently disabled. Allen said Stacy was found guilty after bringing fentanyl into the University of Tennessee Medical Center on April 26, 2022, and sharing it with her husband and 16-year-old daughter. The incident ended with her husband, and her daughter overdosing. A jury convicted the mother of aggravated CA and aggravated child neglect after a 3-day trial. The case has been set down for sentencing on January 15, 2026, where she will learn her fate, possibly a sentence between 8 and 12 years in prison without the possibility of parole. They're saying here that all three overdosed in the hospital and were revived with naloxone. According to Allen, the daughter was permanently disabled because of the overdose. What the hell? And they're saying here the mother brought a bag of fentanyl with her to the hospital to share with her husband. It's crazy, guys. Hold on. There you go. Sorry about that. What the hell? Why? It's very strange to. Were they all three drug addicts, or were they addicted people? Like, why would it be your husband and your daughter? Your daughter's only 16. They're saying here during their rounds, UTMC staff found the child overdosing in a hospital room and initiated a code blue, and they had to be revived with naloxone. Far out. She deserves all the years in jail, all of them, 100 of them. 9,000. Don't let it back out again, and don't let her near the child ever again. That's brutal. Yeah, let me see if I can find anything else on it for you. Yeah, here we go.
A woman convicted after her teen daughter overdosed on fentanyl. Stacy Bowles convicted now of aggravated child abuse and neglect. She faces up to 12 years in prison with no parole. DA says Bowles brought a bag of fentanyl to her husband, who was in the hospital. At some point, the teen also used it and she overdosed. The DA says the girl is permanently disabled. Again, now her mom is already convicted.
Another very quiet video. Sorry about that. What do they say here? Yeah, she was charged on November 20th of this year. She had a 3-day trial. Yeah. She'll be sentenced on January 15, 2026. I will bring you that sentencing. I want to know what Knox County is actually going to do for her, whether they're actually going to show some sort of solidarity, or are they actually just going to be like, oh, you can have time served in jail. Time served will be enough. We'll see. Kathy said, I guess the hospital drugs weren't strong enough. I don't know. What were they in hospital for? And why was it both of them? Were they detoxing or something? She was visiting her husband at UT Medical Center with her 16-year-old daughter. So the daughter and the mum went to visit the husband. Okay. I don't know. We would have to look at the trial documents. I don't know. We'll have to see if we can get the trial documents or not, and then we might get a better idea of what or why. They're saying here that Stacy brought along the bag to share, like it was a bag of candy. She brought it along to share. They're saying this is the second conviction the DA's office announced on Thursday involving a parent being charged after their child overdosed. In the first case, a father was convicted of aggravated child neglect after prosecutors said he waited to take his 1-year-old to hospital after she overdosed on fentanyl in 2022. Crazy. What is this? They got another story here I want to have a look at. It's from 1977, South Knox County torso murder. Okay, victim's name was Paul Hurst. I can't say I know this one. Do you guys know this one? Paul Hurst? I'm going to try find a video for us to watch because I actually don't know this one. I can't find anything on it, but apparently it's a very famous case in Tennessee. They're saying it's a mystery after 40 years. Paul Hurst, whose mutilated torso was discovered in 1977, remains one of Knoxville's most gruesome unsolved homicides. There you go. And he was a boxing coach, which would have been a hard man to kill. A former local Golden Gloves welterweight champion, the 54-year-old still exercised every morning, never drank alcohol, and usually skipped supper. When his remains were discovered near Cherokee Trail in 1977, authorities initially mistook the unidentified homicide victim for a man in his 30s or possibly younger. Then again, detectives had little to go on. The head, hands, and legs, among other body parts, had been severed. Only a naked torso marked the scene. So did they never find the rest of him? Apparently his genitals were also removed from his torso. And apparently they cut off any identifying marks such as moles or tattoos. It almost seems like it seems like to me like a gangland thing. Like maybe he pissed off a gang.
77. A body was discovered off Cherokee Trail in South Knoxville.
Oh,
The
they
remains
severed
gave-
him with apparently a chainsaw. Okay, so they killed him with a chainsaw. It sounds like money owed. That's what it seems to me. They're saying initial reports speculated the body might have been dismembered with a chainsaw, and they said that they were looking into whether it could have been. Authorities later dropped the chainsaw theory, and they said that the incisions to dismember him were too fine to be a chainsaw. They would never find the rest of his body, so they only ever found his sort of torso. Wonder why they cut off his genitals though. It seemed I don't know. They're saying here a length of rope found wrapped around the torso, as well as bloodstains and marks along the ground, hinted that the victim might have been killed elsewhere and dumped at the South Knoxville site from a car. Okay. So it's never been solved since 1977. Yeah. Thanksgiving 1977, they found that remains. And they never found the rest of him either. It sounds to me like money owed, because I feel like the taking of the genitals wasn't sexual. It was sort of like to like emasculate him. It was to take away his manhood, and it was almost like a message, like you're not a man, you're not as strong as you are, that type of thing. And because he was a boxer, I think it was one last hit to his ego, even in death. So I reckon it's money. The fact that he was involved in boxing makes me wonder if he was big on the betting. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds like a SUV case. Dun 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 dun. I don't think we're going to be watching any SUV I don't think we're going to be watching any of that. All right. If you give me 1 minute, I'll be back. All right, sorry about that. I had to go open up the door for Mrs. Ping because it's like that time of night. Uh, yeah, I reckon it's a betting debt. It sounds like to me something like what local mafia would do to you if you took money from them and didn't pay them back. It sounds like one of those old school crimes. I can't imagine this is like a love interest gone wrong. It doesn't make sense to me that that's what it would be. But apparently they exhumed his remains at one point to re-examine his remains. Apparently his son, Sonny Hurst, changed the course of his life and became an investigator to find out who killed his father, but never did. Never found out. I wonder, you guys, this is a very strange one. We have to ask people from Tennessee if they remember it. Paul Wayne Hurst Sr. Paul Wayne Hurst. Let's have a look. Here's a photo of him. A very old photo from like a newspaper. There's a photo of him back in the day. And I'd love to know here. Let's go here. They're saying here in 1977, hikers found a naked male torso in the remote area of South Knox County, Tennessee, near Cherokee Trail. The heads, hands, and legs above the knees and genitals had been neatly severed with a fine-tooth saw and were never found. This mutilation was likely done to prevent identification and suggested a personal motive, such as jealousy or vindictiveness. Identification. They used spinal X-ray to match him to an injury that he had earlier in his life. And they're saying the Paul Wayne Hurst murder is considered a cold case for Knox County Sheriff's Office, as the lack of a verified crime scene, cause of death, and initial consensus on the victim's identity hindered the investigation. The case file for Paul Hurst homicide is available on the Knox County website. Okay. Well, it's not much of a it's not much of a case file. That's all we got when you type it in on the website. That's all you get. Interesting nonetheless. I'm very interested. Oh, someone's messaging me. All right. All right. Okay. Sorry, I had to write a message. Okay. Yeah, it's it's the best case file ever. You get nothing. Nothing. That's all you get. Very interesting. If anyone from Tennessee knows anything about this particular case, email me sundaywithping@gmail.com because I'd really like to know more about Paul Hurst, and why this case never got the national attention. You would think it would for a torso murder, but apparently just sort of faded into the obscurity of time and no one really gave a crap. It's like no one's really investigated it. They're saying there's only very brief information available on the case. That's it. No other information. Yeah, that's it. Interesting though. Interesting. Sounds more like Rome, HBO. Could be HBO. Let's see. Maybe his son could get the case restarted. Well, if his son's an investigator with the sheriff's office, you would think that that's maybe what he's been doing for the number of years, trying to work his dad's case file. If so, what a noble pursuit for a son, right? What a noble thing for a son to do, to try and find out who killed his own father. That's something like you hear on like a HBO documentary. Yeah, like everyone is saying. All right. I don't think we have anything else. We might have one more. Do you remember when there was 2 Australian surfers killed in Mexico? All right, shush. Do you remember when there was 2 Australian surfers killed in Mexico a little while ago? Maybe when we very first started this channel. Well, a person called Ari Giselle, 23, has pleaded guilty to robbery with violence. And it was Callum and Jake Robinson from Perth. They were killed in the Mexican state of Baja California when they were reported missing on April 27 last year. And apparently one of the people involved has pleaded guilty to hurting the brothers. So woman jailed for 20 years over the deaths of the brothers, which is great. Great news to finally hear some sort of concrete finality to that particular case. Very sad case. Really horrible, bizarre case. I think we covered it when we first opened the channel. I think we did a lot of coverage of it where their car went missing, they went missing, and in the well. They were found in the well. That's right. So the woman involved, not the guy. There's also a man involved. Just the woman. She pled guilty and she will spend 20 years in jail. Let's have a look. I was hoping we might, Callum and Jake Robinson. Let me try and get one last update for you on this one. Yeah.
Over her role in the brutal murders of 2 Perth brothers in Mexico. Callum and Jake Robinson were on holiday in the seaside town of Baja when they were shot dead along with their American friend. The 23-year-old woman has been found guilty of instigating the violent attack on the men by telling her then boyfriend that she was interested in the tires on the surfer's truck. A woman has been jailed for 20 years over her role in the brutal murders of 2 Perth brothers in Mexico. Callum and Jake Robinson were on holiday in the seaside town of Baja when they were shot dead along with their American friend. The 23-year-old woman has been found guilty of instigating the violent attack on the men by telling her then boyfriend that she was interested in the tires.
Sorry, I didn't realize that had turned itself off. There we go. I got it. Yeah, there we go. I wanted to show you like where the bodies were hidden. So they were hidden down here. Oh, go this way. Up here. Down this well is where that woman and that guy shoved the two brothers' bodies down this well. And that's where they discovered them. They had to send a diver down with, see this pipe? There's an orange pipe leading into it. That is to oxygenate the atmosphere in the well so that they don't pass out from fumes or carbon dioxide, and it's to aerate the chamber in the well. So they had to send a diver down here to get their bodies because after they were murdered, that's where they were placed. And it was just two brothers going on a surfing trip, and then they just disappeared. And unfortunately, they were they were killed basically for no reason. Basically, there was no real reason. It was a robbery. Motive is not really there as such. Just robbery, and then they were shot and killed and put in there. That's it. On a trip of a lifetime. Oh, right. There was another person down there, a Mexican that was the owner of the property. An American was their friend, and then the two Australians. That's right. Sorry, my memory needs a bit of a jolt sometimes. Yeah, the Mexican was the guy who owned the ranch or farm or whatever it was, where the well was. The American was their friend, and the Australians were the two brothers. All right. All right. All right. Give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, those people were sick. It was really sad. Gail said, I can remember these things, but forget every day. I remember, but only when you sort of made me remember. Kathy said, Sunnyhurst, flanked by Blount County Coroner Roy White, two private investigators, and the Hertz family physician, announced beyond a shadow of doubt that the torso was not his father. Well, where is the father then? Where is their dad then? Where did he disappear to? Like, he's been gone like since 1977. Where did he go then? I'm interested to know that. Yeah. Kathy said, father's not my torso. Yeah, I'll have a look. Knoxville info's told is still incomplete. Okay. So the family says it's not him. The cops say it is. I mean, it's very difficult to tell. You don't have much left. He's got no legs, no arms, no head, and he's missing his genitals. So DNA would be very hard to do. I mean, identification. I think it was why they may have exhumed him. It's very possible. No, I think it happened way back. I'm trying to find out what year that was. I think it was like back in the 80s or 70s. It doesn't say, but they're saying here, back when it happened, DNA testing was still nearly a decade away from becoming a reliable tool. So, yeah, they didn't even have DNA testing back then. I'm trying to see here. Yeah, see, even they suggested mobsters were part of it. I agree. I think it is mobsters. Let me see here. So, famed University of Tennessee forensic anthropologist Dr. Bill Bass was asked to review the spinal x-rays as well. He confirmed the original initial ruling that the torso was of Paul Hurst. So, a famed anthropologist from the University of Tennessee, he's saying 100% it is Paul. So you have this disagreement with both sides. The son says it isn't. The cops and their experts say it is him. I'll see what else I can dig up overnight tonight. Kelly says, have to run. All right, see you, my friend Kelly. I'm going to get out of here too. Yeah, they need to send a sample to Othram, but Othram costs money. That's why, that's why not everyone does it, is because it costs money. Up to $7,500 per sample per test. Like, it's not cheap. So sometimes you have to get a lot of funding to get it done. Get Bones on the case. Yeah, get Dexter. Hey, thanks to Kathy for gifting a membership early, and Sean for being a member for 15 months. I appreciate all my members. My membership people are what gets me by right now. With the low we've been on and off because I've not been very well. It's the members that have been getting pinged by. USD? I don't know. Yeah, USD, 7,500 USD. I want to thank again Kathy and Sean for the donations to the PayPal. I appreciate it. And for the gifting of membership. Same with Carolina. Carolina says she's been a member for 11 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for being thankful. I'm thankful for all the viewers and the people who have stuck by me. Even after 800 shows, I hope you would know that when I'm feeling better, we'll be back here every day. But when I was just not feeling well for about 10 days, it's very hard to do a live show when you're not up to it. Like, you have to be very on and like sort of very quick with things. And when you feel like crap, you don't want to do a live show and have to interact and talk about stuff and be very fast with your thinking. And so I hope people know that if I was feeling well enough, I would have been here. All right, we're going to get out of here. I love you all. I will be back tomorrow for another live show. It's Friday night. I'm not sure what we'll do, but I'll try and dig up more information on this torso one from 1977. We'll see what I can find and we'll keep looking at it, okay? Hey, I love you all. Peace out. Good night. Bye.